With my humble regards to the absolute space and also the divine potential in all the living beings and the universe, I will try to commence my second lecture on the pragmatic spiritual philosophy of Amma, the mother of all. We have already found that three important aspects have been covered. One is the imperceptible consciousness, another is the dynamic consciousness, another is the functional consciousness. These are the three major zones on which any philosophy will be resting upon, and so that of the philosophy of Amma also. Why I have called it pragmatic philosophy or pragmatic spiritualism? Because a man standing on the land feels that land is the truth. A man who is breathing the air feels that air is the truth. A man who is under the sunshine feels that the sunlight and the sun are the truth. The man who is looking at the skies feels that the very expansive skies are very truth. In the same way, the man who is looking at the glittering stars in the night feels that the light of the glittering stars is very much truth. It is not beyond any type of misapprehension. It is only one way of understanding what we feel. It is perception. There is another dimension, what is called as intuition. When the relationship between the body and the object are found, it is called as perception. It is called pratyaksha pramana in the terminology of epistemology. Prati aksham, prati pratyaksham, looking to the eye, that means which is visibly known, it is called as pratyaksha. All the objects including the human body are all pratyaksha. It is the truth which cannot be denied. There is another truth which is speaking inwardly and from the depths of the cosmos through the astrophysical forces and the functioning of the waves of mind, that is called as the intuition. The perception and intuition are the two major pramanas, proofs for the truth, and any type of truth, any type of proof identifying a truth or vouching a truth need not be taken into consideration. This is the method of Amma. That means one is the perception, another is the intuition. They are only the true sources of knowledge. They are the true proofs of knowledge. They are the testimony of the knowledge. So, the travel from the knowledge to the truth starts from the perception to the intuition. In the perception, the body functions, the object commands, the subject witnesses. On the other hand, in the intuition, the subject involves, the soul commands, consciousness pervades, and the imperceptible commands. That is the situation wherein the intuition is there. From the perception to the intuition, the journey of knowledge questions so many factors. The first question is creation. What is creation? Why is creation? Who is the creator? What is the reason for the creation? With what objects the creation has been made? These are all many questions raised by many people in different times. Every individual has given so many answers. The answers differ widely. If you look at Bible, it starts with the creation. If you look at the Quran, it starts with the creation. If you look at the Puranic arguments, sargascha pratisargascha, vamsham manvantaranicha, vamshanucharitam jaiva, Puranam Panchalakshanam. Sarga means primary creation, Pratisarga means secondary creation. So, that means the primary creation and the secondary creation are there. If you look at Sankhya, it speaks about the Mahat, from which the Tanmatra, the Tamasika Ahankara has come in, and it has created the 5 basic elements. So, that means any philosophy starts from creation. So the mother also has questioned the creation. Who is the creator? What is the creation? What is the need for the creation? This is the basic question in any philosophy. The same can be found in the mother's aptitude also. What is imperceptibly conceivable, which is intuitively identifiable, is all creation. Because there are only two sources of creation or knowledge. One is perception and another is intuition. Perception, what you see; intuition, what you feel from beyond the transcendental. Both are functioning at a time. The perception is visible, the intuition is invisible. The perception is object oriented, the intuition is cosmic oriented. So the interrelationship is identified through the process of creation. Creation is a process. For this, the mother gives a very beautiful common example. For example, you look at the railway engine. Who has found the railway engine? Somebody might have found the railway engine. With what the railway engine has been made? With some material. Where from the material has come? It might have been designed before the creation of the railway engine itself, designing of the railway engine itself. In the same way, the mother puts a small question which is contemporaneously put by even Vedadri Maharshi. Vedadri Maharshi also puts the same question: where from the creation comes? If creation is made by the creator, the matter must be earlier than the creator. Then how can you attribute antiquity to the creator? This is a question. So the same idea has been expanded by the mother also. She has given the example of a train. If you look at the example of the entire earth or the galaxies, the sun, moon, etc., there is some person who is beyond the sun, creating the sun. There is some person beyond the moon, creating the moon. There is some person who is beyond the galactic space, creating all the galaxies and the solar families. Who is he? And that is why she has identified the creation as a process, the process of the imperceptible consciousness, Marugu. And she has given very much significance to that particular Marugu, which involves around itself, revolves around itself, which whirls around itself. If you look at an atom, the atom will be whirling around itself. The energy is created. If you look at the human body, the trillions of the cells in the human body will be revolving around themselves. In that revolution evolves the energy. Energy is a byproduct of the revolution. Revolution is the modification of the primordial. That primordial is the imperceptible consciousness. So this imperceptible consciousness is called as Marugu, and he can be understood as the creator. The mother has questioned the concept of divinity, the concept of gods, the concept of goddesses. She has identified that something which is beyond the communication, which is beyond the sensory perception, it is the God. And she understands the God as energy, and she understands it as the beyond the soul, super soul, Paramatma, or super self, Paramatma. She has understood it as the entire axis on which the entire world is revolving. The entire solar family is revolving. That is called as Brahman. It is the key for all the entire universe. It is the Padmanabha Tattva in the Vaishnavite philosophy. It is the Vidhi in the general terms. It is the order of function in the biological terminology. It is nothing but Brahman in the Puranic terminology and the Vedantic terminology. It is Purusha in the Sankhya terminology. It is Guru and Ishvara in yoga terminology. So that is the creator. The creator is beyond the perceptible, beyond the intuition. Hence, the mother questions why the creation has come. I don't know. She clearly says, I don't know. And at this juncture, I shall recall an example of Lord Buddha, who says to his students that there are some aspects which need not be questioned by everybody, and of them the creation is one. Why the creation need not be questioned? Creation is a cosmic process. It was a subtle process, latent process, solar process, astral process, biophysical process, geochemical process, biochemical process. Out of all these processes, we are finding out an ultimate system which is perceptible truth. It may be a solid material, or a liquid mass, or a gaseous mass. It is all material. That material is terrestrial, atmospherically controlled, astrally based, empowered by the solar energy, and being a part of the galactic space. So, the creation need not be questioned. All the sciences are more after the process of creation, but they are not in a position to identify and define creation and creator in the proper terms, or like mathematical terms. They are not incisive and precisive in identifying the creation and identifying the depths of the creation. But the mother is very, very clever in that. She is wise, not simple clever. She is more wise than all the wisest. And her system is identified that there are different staves, different wheels. Beyond those wheels there is something, and that something is creating. Why do you worry about that particular something? You understand that it is imperceptible. That is the significance which the mother has given for the creator. On the other hand, regarding the creation, mother questions why the creation has happened. She is not interested in providing any attribute for the creation. Why? Because in Devi Bhagavata, in Mahabhagavata, and some other classic texts which are dealing with the creation, there is an argument that the God is single. He wants to be many, and so one has to become many. And with that particular thought, the entire creation has come into existence. That is called as Ekasyam Bahusyam. So that one wants to become many. It has become many. This is described in different way in Adisarga of Narasimha Purana, where it has been clearly told that there is some quivering or vikara or modification in the primordial Brahman prior to the creation, and from that particular modification or repercussion or quivering, the entire creation has come into existence. This is how the people had tried to understand the creation. The creation is truth. It is a ready-made substance. We need not worry for the creator. The creator is given many names, which are all indicated by the created. The creation is having so many dimensions, and we have to understand the creator by passing through the creation. That process is called as Anveshana. Anu Vish Eshana. Anu means following, Vish means entering, following the visible creation, enter into the invisible, and then reach the latent and subtle identities which are imperceptible, and then you can understand the creator. He cannot be defined, he cannot be understood, he cannot be explained. It is told in the Upanishads, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha, where the words are fail to explain him, where the mind cannot feel him, and that is the state as has been told in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And he is that, Tat, that's all, Tat. And he is non-existent. And that is why Taittiriya Upanishad calls Asatva Agramasi Tato Vai Sadajayata. He is Asat, he is non-existent, because his existence is not made clear. It is imperceptible. When it is perceptible, it is Sat. When it is imperceptible, it is Asat. Mother has understood that concept of Asat, who is beyond the Purusha, which can be equated with Purushottama Bhagavad Gita, and that is the place given to the creator and the creation. The creator is imperceptible, the creation is through a modification or a repercussion, and that repercussion is defined in a frequency, and that particular frequency will be providing us understanding what is the elements, how they have evolved. Akashad Vayuhu, Vayavar Agnihi, Ajnadapaha, Apahal Prithvi. In this way, from skies to the air, air to the fire, fire to the water, water to the earth, these have been gradually evolved. It is an evolution. This is secondary evolution. It is not a primary evolution. Primarily it was called as Prakriti and Purusha. It has identified with the quality of Mahat, having three qualities, and from that particular Mahat the entire universe has come. So the mother has understood the creation in such a very clear terms that they cannot be defined. The creator cannot be defined. The creation can be understood. The creation is a process. It is a process of quivering. Mother calls that particular quivering as Spandana. She identifies in that Spandana two varieties, Prathama Spandana and Gauna Spandana. Prathama Spandana means the primary quivering. When the primary quivering touches again the nucleus, then comes the secondary quivering. The secondary quivering is charged with energy and it becomes the energy particle. This is what Vedatri Maharshi explained, and this is what the mother also felt. So the philosophy of the mother is basically pragmatic, and she is very much systematic. She is scientific. It is verifiable. From the imperceptible, there is a perceptible creation. That creation is a process. That creation is due to a quivering. That quivering is primary quivering and secondary quivering. Primary quivering expands, then it withdraws to the nucleus. Then again there is a quivering, that is secondary quivering, which is charged with the energy of the nucleus. Then it becomes the energy particle or Akash particle, and from that comes, due to a process of what is called a churning, process of pressure, the entire creation comes. So what is that pressure? The pressure is the next point, which we have to understand in the philosophy of the mother. Pressure means pressing on a particular object, body pressing on the body, mind pressing on the mind, space pressing on the space. The Newtonian principles, the Einsteinian principles, they have studied to understand the relationship between the mass and the space. The famous theory of relativity of Einstein is providing for the concept of stress and pressure, and that pressure has been very clearly explained by Amma as Spandana. When it extends in the form of waves, it becomes the energy. It integrates, it pervades, it is permeable, it is transparent, it is a fluid state. You cannot define the energy. The energy can take any form. All forms which are found in the creation, which are visible in the creation, they are all the sources of energy. They are taken by the energy. They are funded with the energy. They are the source of energy. They are charged with the energy. That is why health is energy, wealth is energy, ill health is energy, birth is energy, death is energy, time is energy, and energy is also energy. This is the concept of understanding the concept of energy in the terms of relativity. And how you are identifying this particular relativity? It is a relative vibration or a relative modification, wherein the steps of relativity are gradually expanding from the nucleus. This is called as Vikshepa Tattva. When the Vikshepa takes place, Vikshepa means dispersion, dimension, direction, diversion. The energy also disperses. It also takes a direction. It will be having a dimension. it will be having a voltage, and that is why from the single celled amoeba to the multi-celled Anthropus, we are finding out that particular energy. Any cell will be having an energy, any molecule will be having an energy, any atom will be having an energy, any particle will be having an energy, any quark or quanta will be having an energy. These are all nothing but the shelves of energy. These shelves of energy are fed by the volume of mass. How this mass expands? This is the next question. This mass expands due to the churning. This has been very clearly told by the mother. She gives a very small example. You take a cup full of milk, then boil it. Immediately there will be forming a particular hard matter on the milk. Then you make it into curd. The curd is made into buttermilk. Then it is churned further. Then you will be getting the butter. When the butter is subjected to again pressure, it becomes ghee. This is the argument what mother says. So the milk, the hard milk, the curd, the butter and the ghee, they are all found in the same thing. With the process of churning, they have evolved, they have become perceptible. In the same way, the Mahat has been churned. The sky has been existing. The grand sky, the multiple sky, the great sky, which is called as Bhutakasha, Mahakasha, Chittakasha, etc. That sky has come into existence. And from that sky, further pressure came into air, further pressure came into fire, further pressure came into water, further pressure came into earth. In this particular process, the lighter objects are nearer the nucleus and the heavier objects are thrown away from the nucleus. This is the principle of the specific gravity. The mother did not speak about the principle of specific gravity, but she has understood the functioning of the gravity, the relationship between the earth and the sun, the relationship between the earth and the sky. She has clearly understood the relationship between the man and the sun, the relationship between man and the sky. She has identified that particular concept as Turiyatita concept, wherein she has tried to cross the human limits and enter into the atmospheric limits and then into energy limits and cosmic limits also. She had made this experimentation when she was a girl of 6 years old. In that particular experimentation, she has clearly understood that she has a control on the body, control on the air, control on the breath, and she has performed the Shambhavi Mudra. And at the same time, she was performing a breathless state, almost near the death experience. And it indicates that she has totally understood her body. She has totally understood the elements. With that particular understanding, she has clearly understood it is a churning process. This is called as Kshetrasagara Mathana, which has been told in the Indian mythics. Kshetrasagara indicates the pure ocean, the pure deep ocean. You cannot know the depth. It is pure. That is Kshira, like the white. It is so milky. That milky ocean, that means the milky galaxies, have been churned, where from the present visible sky has come into existence. This is what the entire creation makes. So the creation is the basic principle, and the creator is the important leader. Creator need not be defined. He has no definition. He has beyond the definitions. Mother clearly says, even calling him as Paramatma or Brahman is not tenable. And what is his qualification? He is beyond the illusion. He is beyond the apprehension. He is beyond the comprehension. He is incomprehensible. He is beyond the apprehension. He cannot be convinced or convicted. He cannot be identified or specified. So he is all beyond the reach of the intellects or intellectual limits. And that is why he has no thought, he has no initiative, he has no name, he has no form. So he is formless, nameless, without initiation, without pressure, without dissolution, without evolution, without revolution. As there is no revolution, there is no time. As there is no revolution, as there is no evolution, there is no creation. As there is no devolution, he is all existing. This is Sat and he is Vishwakarma. This is the concept of the creator and creation as has been identified by the mother. Om Tat Sat.